You know, I had the distinct opportunity to meet Ivor going back a few years at the for a what was it, a high-speed rail event, and he was doing a Meet the Primes, and he is so knowledgeable. He is so good, and now has since transitioned over to the California Capital PTAC. I called him and said, "Hey, would you be willing to do one of your presentations for us?" And of course, he jumped right on, as he always does. And Ivor, could you give us just a brief background on yourself and some of your experiences, and kind of what go into your presentation of the PTAC and what you guys do for small business?
Sure. So I bring to bear over 20 years of global service program management experience. I've worked with organizations like Dell for 10 years, where I was responsible for implementing services worldwide. After that, I went to work with a software development company. I was the chief operating officer for that company for a number of years. And then I moved into a small business opportunity with the California Department of Veterans Affairs, where I assisted the small business team to engage DVBEs predominantly, to ensure that they were not only aware of the requirements, but they became certified and that they engaged appropriately in a variety of different state contracts. So I'm going to get into the PTAC as a result of these slides, but ultimately a lot of that experience has transitioned into this particular position. And as I said, we'll sort of get into the nuance of that as we work through this slide deck. But I wanted to take a moment and just thank you, Bob, for the invitation. It's our privilege to be here. And I want to say special thanks to all of the procurement staff at Caltrans and all of these supporting teams. But I'd like to say a special thanks to the district small business liaisons, because I know that is not an easy position. And I know that interacting directly with clients and small businesses is not an easy task. So special thanks to all district small business liaisons. My name is Ivor Newman. I'm the program director here at the California Capital PTAC. I've included my email and my phone number, so if in the event anyone needs to get a hold of me, please take advantage of that. We have an approach that I've created for the California Capital PTAC, and we really coin it as 3 Ps. What we do, quite simply, is we assist small businesses to prepare for, to pursue, and to perform on government contracts. So within this presentation, what I'll do is I'll cover the PTAC national structure. I'll speak about the scope of the California Capital PTAC services, and quite specifically the discrete services that we do provide. That way there's clarity in regards to who you should engage and why you should engage a PTAC. I hope everyone finds value in this presentation, and at a minimum that they leverage our service offering to increase their awareness and better position their companies to pursue government contracts in the future. In short, we have a lot of experience within the California Capital team. And as I've heard over the last few days, there seems to be a lot of emphasis placed on that there are resources that will allow small businesses to succeed, and we are one of them. So we have a lot of experience and we are here to help. Okay, so California Capital Financial Development Corporation is our host. They are the recipient of the federal grant, which provides the ability for the PTAC to exist. California Capital FDC is a Sacramento-based 501c3 nonprofit organization that was established in 1982. Its mission was, and really quite frankly it still is, to serve the financial needs for the underserved communities within California. Originally they were the guarantor for the State Loan Guarantee Program. And as you can imagine, since 1982 a lot has changed. Now they offer quite a broad portfolio of services to include direct and indirect lending options. So today, California Capital FDC provides services to 23 counties within California. The second division of California Capital is the Women's Business Center, and that's a designation. So the California WBC has male clients also. So I would say to the males who are currently attending this webinar, don't be intimidated by the WBC, engage, and the service levels you'll find are outstanding. But once again, that is a designation. They were established in 2012 via a grant that was issued from a small business association. And within the WBC, they offer an environment for small businesses to get together and to discuss like-minded topics. So it's a very good networking environment. They also provide webinars. So I've listed the California Capital website on the top of this page. If you were to go out to the californiacapital.org website, the fourth tab over, you'll see a calendar. That calendar represents a combined effort, whether it's the WBC, whether it's the Business Loan Division and or the PTAC. We have a joint calendar that represents all of the webinars that are being offered to our clients. So the WBC's webinars, they're listed in blue on that particular calendar. I suggest you take a moment and go out and take a look at that website because the offering is quite broad. In addition, they have experienced counselors that can provide guidance to newly formed companies or newly formed entities. And really the focus there is to ensure that the organization has a solid business plan and they understand the dynamics of managing that business plan. So as the environment changes, so does the plan. In addition, they will work with organizations to ensure that they also have a financial plan. There's a lot of cross referrals that happen within California Capital. So as a result of someone coming to the WBC with an idea and forming an organization as a result of that idea, they may be in need for capital. So a referral may take place from the WBC over to the business loans. As that organization develops and increases its service offering, then as a result, once they have established and have a proven track record of providing whether it's a product and or service, they can then be referred to the Government Contracting Division, which is the Procurement and Technical Assistance Center. So the Procurement and Technical Assistance Center was established in 2014 as a result of a Department of Defense grant, which is now being administered through the Defense Logistics Agency. The remaining slides within this deck will speak specifically about the PTAC, so we can get into that at a later time. So I'm quite confident that many people who are attending this presentation have heard about PTACs, but we tend to think that it's a well-kept secret because the engagements for PTACs aren't as robust as what we would initially anticipate because one, it's a free service, and when I say free, there's just no additional cost to you. It's a federal program, so the services that are being provided through this program are provided as a result of you paying your federal taxes. But this particular slide references the fact that there are 300 plus PTACs distributed throughout the United States. California Capital is obviously one of them. We are a member of the National Association for PTACs. It's referred to the Association for PTACs, and the website is listed here. It's aptac-us.org. If in the event, well, services for each of the PTACs are provided on a geographical basis. So if you, let's say, lived in Arizona and you were unclear as to what PTAC services your county, you would visit the aptac-us.org site. You would select the Arizona portion of the map. You would select your county, and as a result, you'll receive a listing of all PTACs within that geography and the counties that they provide services to. So the California Capital PTAC, we provide services to 16 counties, including Sacramento and counties surrounding the Sacramento area. I've taken the liberty of listing the counties here for you. Now, I mentioned earlier on that this is a federally funded program, therefore that there are no additional costs associated with any of the services that we do provide. So I encourage you, if you haven't already taken advantage of the PTAC structure, that you go out to the ABTAC site, identify the PTAC which is closest to you, and engage them. Now, the 3 Ps that I'd referenced previously, that's the approach that we take when providing guidance and counseling to small businesses that register with the California Capital PTAC. The first P is prepare. So what we do is we'll work with an organization who once again has an established track record of providing a product and or services, who is interested in pursuing government contracts, to understand the requirements of various certifications. The PTAC scope of services includes local, state, and also federal opportunities. So it's really quite broad. So we advise clients as to what the requirements are for various certifications. We will help clients to make a decision as to what certifications to pursue. We would assist clients to select whether it's NAICS codes or UNSPSC codes. We would do market research, or we'll sit with that client and conduct market research, whether it's in USA spending or any other federal FPDS or any other federal database, to ensure that the NAICS code that's selected is the appropriate code for that particular entity. In addition, we would identify the scope of opportunities, the historical sales associated with that particular NAICS code, so that the client is aware as to what the opportunity is. The same for the UNSPSC code in the event that a client decides to pursue a state certification. We would work with that client to select the appropriate UNSPSC code. Then we would take time to work with that client and review the data within the Skippers database. That's the State of California Procurement Registration System, to ensure that they understand the historical sales associated with that UNSPSC code. So beyond the requirements, we would work with the small businesses to pursue certification, whether it's small business public works, or DBBE through the Department of General Services, or that's on the state side, but on the federal side, we'll work with small businesses to pursue a variety of certifications, whether it's women-owned small business, pursue the 8A certification, the Hub Zone certification, the veteran-owned small business, or the service-disabled veteran-owned small business. So we will sit with clients, we will ensure that they are aware as to what's required to complete the certification, and more often than not, we'll be on a joint Zoom session, and they'll fill out the forms with us right along there with them. And we are a certified VA verification center for those who, we typically get a lot of referrals from the VA, and that's a specific certification. So we have the ability within California Capital to provide that service. So in addition to certifications, we offer registration assistance. So for those who are not registered in SAM, in fact, for those who are registered in SAM, there's an equal opportunity here, because 8 out of 10 clients that we interact with that are currently registered in SAM, we find issues with their registration. So one of the first things that we do when we engage with a client is that one, we sit down, we get a better understanding as to what type of product and or service they provide. But in addition to that, we take a look at their current registrations. We take a look at your small business registration within Cali Procure as an example. And as a result, we do an assessment. We determine, have you selected the correct UNSPSC codes? The structure that you've identified those codes within your profile, is that the optimal approach that you've taken? So we have discussions in regards to your existing registrations, and we optimize them based upon what our findings are. So that was all under prepare. Seems like a lot, but that's what we do to help organizations prepare. The second P is pursue. So when we think about pursuing opportunities, we think about, I put together my capability statement, I understand what I need to do. Now it's just a fact of distributing it to these different organizations, but who do you distribute it to? Right, so what we do is we work with clients to ensure that they're managing their time appropriately. We identify a marketing plan, and that marketing plan has targeted agencies within the plan. So we identify organizations, whether it's local, once again, state and or federal agencies that have purchased the product and or service that you provide. We also take a look, and I'll get into it a little bit later, but forecasts. We'll take a look at the federal forecasts, and we'll make a determination as to whether or not we'd want to include that agency as a targeted agency and their buying cycles, so that you can appropriately manage your time. Everything comes into play here. So for a lot of organizations that are interested in Caltrans, they may or may not be registered with the Department of Forestry for the VIPER program. They may not even be aware of the VIPER program. what we do is we'll sit down with companies and we'll make sure that we inform them of the various opportunities that exist. So whether it's with CAL FIRE, Viper, or any of the other programs that do exist, we make sure that small businesses are aware of the opportunities and that they're positioned to pursue them. We also provide services as it relates to creating and responding to whether it's RFPs, RFIs, RFQs. We don't physically create them on the client's behalf, but we do review all documentation to ensure that we've provided guidance to that small business in regards to their response. The third and the last P is perform on government contracts. Now we're receiving a lot of input lately in regards to cost accounting principles, whether it's individuals who are currently being audited or questions that are being asked, they'll turn around and look to us for guidance. But we do quite often assist organizations who are participating on a contract that do have questions. They'll come to us, we'll do research in accordance to what their issues are, and we'll provide them guidance. Now, I've listed the registration link, right, for the California Capital PTAC. Right? Once you've selected the link, it'll present you with a form. It's a relatively short form. Go ahead and complete the form. Be as thorough as you possibly can. That will assist the counselor to maximize the time on your initial counseling session. So that way we're not asking for information that could have been completed within the form. We provide services in really three distinct methods. One-on-one counseling. So as I'd indicated before, we do have an experienced team with years of experience, not only creating, but also issuing, whether it's RFIs, Qs, or Ps. In addition to creating and submitting, they have experience evaluating responses, small business responses, and also decision makers. They influence the decision as far as the actual awards. So we've got a lot of experience within the California Capital team that's available to you. The workshops and training, as I'd indicated before when we were speaking about the Women's Business Center, if you were to go out to the californiacapital.org website, fourth tab over, first option down, it's the calendar. You'll see that the calendar is fairly well populated with a variety of classes. You'll see the PTAC classes are listed in green. So just go ahead and take a look at that calendar. You'll find classes that will directly relate to your success as a government contractor. The third option is a bid matching service. Now, this is a subscription service that we, the PTAC, has subscribed to. And we make this service available at no cost to our clients. So the bid matching service itself searches federal, state, and local databases. It pulls out opportunities that are based upon your profile. Your profile is created by your California Capital PTAC counselor. It includes your NAICS codes, whether it's your primary and or secondary. It includes your CAGE code, includes your also keywords and other elements that are pertinent. And as a result, the bid matching system will identify opportunities and you will receive an email which will present those opportunities to you. So here's an overview really of the types of services that we do provide. So once again, it's understanding contracting requirements. So we'll work with the small business to ensure that they have a clear understanding as to what the requirements are. Securing necessary state registrations, whether it's certifications and or registrations. Also the same on the federal side. So a lot of people don't consider things like reciprocity agreements that have been established with the California Department of General Services. And it appears to be new news when we speak to small businesses and we say, well, have you engaged any of these reciprocity partners? And in short, the answer tends to be no. So there's a lot of opportunity that does exist that, once again, just people aren't aware of. So taking a look at procurement histories, this is one service that we provide quite often. Whether it's skippers, whether it's FPDS or USA spending, whatever the method is, we would ensure that we provide clarity to the small business so that they are aware as to what organizations, what departments have a historical procurement history that relates specifically to the product and or service that they do provide. Marketing, whether it's your capability statement, whether it's identifying, once again, what opportunities exist in the future. So acquisition.gov is a forecasting website that we not only have webinars on, but we work with clients during our one-on-one counseling to ensure that they're fully aware as to what the opportunities are moving forward. Bid match, what I'd referenced on that previous slide, identifying bid opportunities, keeping in mind that from the PTAC, we have a lot of relationships. We have relationships with a lot of primes who are looking for subs. So what we do is the primes, once they have an opportunity, they'll reach out to me and they'll say, I have this opportunity based in this particular location and we are in need of DVBEs. And what we would do is we'll spin that around. We'll identify all of the DVBEs within our network and we'll make them aware of the opportunity. And in some instances, we facilitate an introduction between the small business and the prime.
Ivor, this is Bob Adams again. I had a quick question for you concerning that. So you have the opportunity, this is important, I think, for small contractors, suppliers to understand I think the tools that you bring to the table. And like you said, you have primes that may reach out to you to say, we have this need, and I think it's important for them to understand how you really tie together this whole picture for them.
It's an interesting situation because once again, a lot of people aren't aware that we exist, right? And once they engage us, the feedback that we're receiving, and we do quite a few client surveys. Obviously, it's voluntary, but the responses that we're getting back are stellar. The level of service that we're providing is really outstanding, and I feel that, you know, just across the board, the clients that do engage us are very pleased with the types of services that they do receive.
Ivor, are you able to assist in bid development for construction projects for these folks then?
Yes, we are. So what I'd indicated earlier on, we do have one of our procurement specialists is focused on cost accounting principles. So the last three bullets pretty much pertain to that individual. You know, the intent here is to ensure that you're aware that the types of services that we do provide are broad. We do have specialists within our team that can delve relatively deep in a lot of these topics. So, and if we encounter a situation or if we encounter something that we're not familiar with, we have you know, quite a few resources that we can reach out to, both on the federal side and also on the state side, to provide secondary support. So here I provided a few examples of some of the workshops that we have on a reoccurring basis, but I also wanted to place emphasis on the fact that we have reoccurring networking sessions, whether it's with the SBA, we have a strong relationship with NASA, with the GSA, with the Department of Interior, we have with the Health and Human Services, and the list goes on. So we often, for someone who's looking at federal cuts, you know, we start by looking in our local geography, right? How many federal how many federal departments actually exist in the Sacramento area? Right, and it's really quite astounding when we do that sort of analysis and we make a determination as to, well, how many of those entities are actually pursuing you as a small business, whether it's the product and or service that you provide. So that's a bit of an eye-opener for most small businesses that engage with us, because they're just not aware as to who's, you know, around them, basically at their doorstep. And then we work with them to develop a plan to introduce them to the appropriate small business liaisons, and that they're positioned to engage that particular department. And that goes across the board, whether it's local government contracts or individuals who have sort of overstepped the local government contracting realm and have gotten directly involved with state. Our service provides them an opportunity to sort of take a step back and look at the local government entities that are, once again, in their environment, take a look at the procurement histories and see whether or not there's an opportunity for them to pursue local government entities for contracts. So beta.sam.gov, that was mentioned during your previous presentation. So this is one of the webinars that we host on a monthly basis. And for those who aren't aware, The site, beta.san.gov, is in transition. It's really a consolidation of 10 discrete sites, of which 4 of those 10 sites have been completely migrated into beta.san. 2 are in process and 2 have yet to be scheduled. Excuse me, 4 have yet to be scheduled. So for those of you who aren't aware of the consolidation, I would suggest that once again you go out to our calendar and sign up for that particular workshop. I can almost guarantee that there's something in there for everyone that's on this call. USA Spending, once again, we provide these webinars and they're typically about an hour long, but what we do is once you've been exposed to the information, then if you wish, you could sign up with us, and during your one-on-one counseling sessions, we can have our counselors go into a deeper dive for you. Acquisition.gov, I've mentioned this several times. So that's forecasting, basically forecasting information for the federal government. And the other 3 are targeted around the federal government. It's how to do business with the federal government, the ins and outs, marketing your business. That could be across the board, whether it's local, state, and or federal. And federal government contracting, did you know? That's sort of a, well, it is a webinar that we've put together based upon a lot of the interaction that the PTAC counselors have with clients. Because once it's really a frequently asked question scenario, but we put it into a workshop so that everyone's aware and that we put that information out front. So once again, this is a recap. The 3 Ps, once again, it's important for us to ensure that once you've engaged with the California Capitol, that you're clear that our approach is to help you to prepare for, to pursue, to perform on government contracts. I've listed the website once again, so that if you have an opportunity, go ahead and select the website and register with us. And the methods in which we services through one-on-one counseling, through workshops and training, and through Big Match. So we'll open it up for questions.
Okay, I really want to mention the strength that the PTACs bring and the support they bring behind them. And Ivor is just such a good partner in helping present this today. And I encourage anybody who is interested in doing work at the state level, federal level, those kinds of things, trying to really set themselves up for success moving, especially if you don't have a lot of experience in that background. The PTAC and Ivor and his crew certainly can help you direct you in that direction. So Ivor, thank you so much for your information today. We really appreciate you being a partner and a part of the boot camp.
Thank you, Bob. It's our pleasure.
You got it. All right. So with that, we have come to the end of the 2021 Contractors Bootcamp. Thank you very much, and we hope that you have a great rest of your week. And stay healthy and wear the mask.